Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we're going to take a look at the Visitor Duo mission. It's from the Earth 3 DLC. We're going to look at two versions of that mission. Basically, I run that mission many times, but there's two ways that you can do the mission. There's the long way, where you can watch all the cutscenes, and there's the way where you can skip at least some of the cutscenes. So, let's get started. So roughly you start in Smallville. It gives us a chance to revisit Smallville, something we haven't done for quite a long time. Usually I try to follow my partner, but once in a while we'll go to different objectives. But as a rule of thumb, I will try to follow my partner. I find it easier, it's quicker to the two of us together to melt the group of enemies, as opposed to each of us grabbing a separate group of enemies. And sometimes I'll click on the console, sometimes I'll let my partner click on the console. It's a case-by-case basis. There are some people who desperately seems to want to click on the console. Sometimes they'll even fight you to click on the consoles. I don't fight them. If they want to click it, I'll let them click it. There's no point in fighting over that. And you can see right now I'm using my character as a DPS, but I am wearing controller gear. The reason for that is quite simple. Already just gathering one set of gear can take quite a lot of time. Gathering two sets of gear, no, it won't happen. Maybe someday in the future, if I ever decide to play only one character and no other character ever, maybe then I'll try to have a DPS set of gear and a controller set of gear. But until that day happens, whenever I play DPS, I only play DPS either when I'm playing solo or when I'm playing duos like this one. I could remain as a controller during the duo, but if I do that, I know a lot of people will complain. So usually I have an armory that is set especially to play DPS. But even though I play DPS wearing controller gear.
This ends here.
And it usually works well enough. And with the loadout that I'm using, I'm basically using a loadout that allows me to be self-sufficient. So when we fight this evil robot, usually that's when I start using my backup and my orbital strike for the first time in that mission. And you can see the rocks around us. At some point, the evil lieutenant will try to attack us. Like, you see the skull thingy, he's going to do a big attack. What you can do is that if you're targeted by the big attack, you can decide to hide behind one of the rocks. Or you can use, usually what I'll do, in the past I would hide behind the rock. Now I just time my shield so that I can be protected when he does his big attack. Usually my character is pretty much self-sufficient. Usually I gain almost as much power as I use. But once in a while, when there's longer fights, it can happen that if I spam my powers too much, it can happen that I run out of power. So there's a few times when you have to wait during this mission. As far as I know, there's no way to skip. There's this bit here when you talk to Luthor. Luthor has this dialogue with Superman. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention my friend Platinum Puff. I love this character. I have no idea if there's a hidden meaning to his name, but holy, his character really cracked me up. And he did a good job, so I was really happy to play with this little guy. So again, at this point, you have a little choice but to wait for the dialogue to go through.
Man, we're here. Who the hell are you?
Good afternoon, Lex. And I assume this is Superman, correct?
It's uncanny. He looks just like you.
And you sound just like him. Forgive me. I'm Alexander Luthor. And while my hijacking of this office may seem like a threat to you, I assure
Yeah, you can see a better look of our friend Platinum Puff.
Enough, you loquacious twit. I'll show you how I deal with threats.
I can't explain why, but I love his look. So in here, there's a few things. If you guys played the event version of the mission, there's a few mechanics that only exist in that mission. Like you can see here, there's some frost that is being thrown down from the ceiling, and it can capture you in a block of ice like that. So ideally, you're going to want to try to avoid the stream of frost that come from the ceiling, but it's not. I haven't found the best place to go not to be affected ever. It's simple enough to break out of it, but you waste a bit of power doing so sometimes.
This is as far as you go.
And of course, you have the 1,000 Lex or the 1,000 Alexander Luthor that you have to fight. But that's both versions of the missions have that. So
This has gone long enough.
you can see I was poorly placed, got trapped in a block of ice. So already when the fight lasts a little too long, I will burn a little too much power. And if I have to break out on top of that, I burn even more power. So ideally, you don't want to get trapped into a block of ice. It's not a big deal. Like I could use my supply drop, or I could drink a cola. But usually I try to wait until I really have to before I actually do that.
You're making a mistake. Get back. Well then.
And sadly, I used when our friend Platinum Puff summoned his his supply drops. I had already just drank a cola, so it didn't really help me that much. But sadly, when you're with someone you don't know, it's hard to time your supply drops appropriately. Ideally, you try to use it when it seems appropriate and hope that your partner will benefit from that as well.
Your enemy, please. You must.
So you can see the goodies we got from this fight. And then there's a pretty long cutscene. If you actually talk to, I think you'd have to talk to Superman or Luther, I forget.
This is a problem for the Justice League.
Please, summon. Thank you for coming. I'm here because an immensely powerful group of super.
So as you saw, I didn't talk to any characters. So I assume our friend actually is the one who talked to one of the NPC. I believe you have to talk to Alexander Luthor at first. And after the fight is over, then you can talk to Superman if you want to, if I'm not mistaken.
Not unlike your Justice League against them.
And it's nice to.
I don't think it's
This is the first time in a long time that we've seen the Justice League together. It's not all the Justice League. Basically, they pretty much used most of the Justice League that are in the Justice League film. Like we have our friend Cyborg, we have Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash.
telling the truth.
I guess the only one really missing is Aquaman.
I don't like the idea of leaving.
But I guess for some reason they did not want to include poor Aquaman. It happens.
Aquaman can command the Watchtower and rely on the rest of Earth's heroes in case of any emergencies. I assure you, Batman, our Earth is well.
So as you can see, it's a pretty long scene with the Justice League, and of course our friend Lex Luthor. And if you're playing as a hero or as a villain, it seems to be the same mission. I haven't seen any distinction between both versions. Whether you're a hero or villain, it seems to be the very same thing.
Damn. Anyone else got the feels right now?
So again, once you're done with the cutscene, you can talk to Superman for even more dialogue options, but you don't have to.
Now that we're here, I
And once you talk to your
suggest
friend Alexander Luthor, then you trigger the second part, or actually third part of the mission that happens in the Earth 3 Gotham. So basically, this is considered an operation. You start in Smallville, then you go into Lex Luthor's office, and then you go into the Earth 3 Gotham.
I got $20 on the one on the left.
And again, you could decide to split. Sometimes players will split. They'll let you deal with one group of mobs, and they'll go deal with another group of evil police officers. Or if you focus both on the same group, personally I find it goes a bit faster that way. But to each their own.
I got $20 on the one on the left. We're gonna need an advance on your protection. Requesting backup.
Like usually, especially once your combat rating at 220, there's no reason you cannot take out the group of enemies by yourself. But I can understand that maybe at 207, it's been a while since I did this mission at the minimum combat rating, and maybe I should try it again. Although the event version of the mission is a bit easier also than the regular version. So the event version at 207, you should be fine against most group of enemies. So here we go to the final boss of the mission. And unlike what the cutscene shows you, it will not be Owlman. The evil Owlman will run away like the coward that he is.
Cut it any closer
Because he's
now,
scared,
man?
of course.
I had to make sure your money.
Why else would he run away? Come on.
Your protection isn't pro bono after all.
And also you can see that the Allman set of gear that we can purchase from the Earth 3 vendor is very close to the Allman set of gear that our friend Allman is wearing.
Criminal show his face in
So again here we have our friend Alexander Luthor, we have our friend Superman, we have Lex Luthor, and of course we have our partner. And we're going to fight the evil forces of the evil James
I have an
Gordon.
entire police force to take out my trash for me. And if you don't mind, I have a re-election gala to play.
And I love the name of that evil NPC. Evil. Oh, it's as if they made the NPC just for me. We broke the barrel. I'm so sad when that happens. Ideally, I try to save the barrel for a bit later in the fight. Once we pretty much burn through our power bar or something, then I'll try to go grab the barrel and use it. But I see a lot of people who actually start using the barrel right at the start of the fight. Not sure why. At the start of the fight, your power bar is full, your health is full. I usually try to wait at least until either the health starts to go down a bit, or once you start burning through your power bar. And I'm not sure why, for some reason, the end of this mission did not record properly. It cuts abruptly at the end. I could have sworn I recorded the whole thing, but somehow the video stopped earlier than I expected. So we're going to switch to the second version of the mission. Basically, in this version, I'm going to skip at least a few things. Well, let's wait for our little friend. Oh, well, let's repair.
Superman may have mentioned has been commandeered by LexCorp agents. On top of that,
So again, we start at Smallville. That never changes. And I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, I had a new belt that somehow I had not imprinted in my armory just yet. So you can easily grab each grab a bunch of enemies, but ideally I prefer if we both focus on the same group. But what can you do? It's not a big deal. But as you can see, we can deal with pretty much one group of enemy. Now let's go catch up to our little friend. And also at some point, like once you need to find the second reinforced key, if you both attack a different group, odds are, like right now we got the key. If I had attacked another group, we would have wasted a bunch of time. So let's wait for our little friend. So as you'll see, our little friend uses the barrel right away, which is not a bad idea, but usually I'll try to wait a bit until we actually really need it. But it's not a big deal. So again, in this fight, at some point when the evil lieutenant will try to do his big attack, you could hide behind one of the rocks. Like right now, when you see the Red Skull, you could decide to hide behind one of the rocks. Like you saw our friend did just that. She hid behind the rock, and the attack destroyed the rock instead of hurting her. Although it did seem to have hurt her quite a bit, but still. But early on, that's what I would do. I would use the rock as our friend did. But nowadays, I just again use my quantum tunneling. It creates a shield around my character that protects it, and that way I don't have to worry about the attack. Or again, as you saw, the evil lieutenant, he targeted our poor little friend. Oh, and now he's targeting me. I thought I could show you, because basically when he attacks you, It's not enough to kill you, but it almost kills you. Although at 207, maybe it does kill you. I would have to try. It's been a while since I did that. But there are times when he can actually defeat you with his big attack. So you have to be a bit careful for that. But sometimes his big attack will almost defeat you. And then, of course, he keeps on attacking you. So then he defeats you. So again, here we have to talk to our friend Luthor. There's no real way to avoid, again, this part of the mission.
Including the retinal scanners. They're going to regret that.
Really? Lead-lined walls, Lex?
And sadly, all you can really do at this point is wait. Usually, I'll use this opportunity to look through my inventory if I need, let's say, to refill my colas, or if I need something else. Sometimes I'll look through my stuff and decide to maybe make changes. It happens.
All right, mystery man, we're here. Who the hell are you? Good afternoon, Lex. And I assume this is Superman, correct?
It's uncanny. He looks just like you.
And you sound just like him. Forgive me. I'm Alexander Luthor. And while my hijacking of this office may seem like a threat to you, I assure you, I have much more dire thing. Enough! You
But of course, when you're in the mission, you can just enjoy the cutscene.
Lex, wait. At least hurt him out.
Usually that's what I try to do, but by now I've seen that cutscene quite a few times. So once in a while, instead of just enjoying the cutscene, I'll try to sometimes fix something in my inventory. Or here I got a bit lucky. Basically, I was able to still break out the barrel, but once in a while, when the evil Alexander Luthor starts to juggle your character, you sometimes drop the barrel. It happens. With a bit of luck, sometimes your partner will actually break the barrel. Sorry if when I get too close to the wall, we don't really say anything. It's one of the things I hate about the way the camera works, but there are limitations within DC Universe Online that there's nothing really you can do about that.
Back off. Had enough?
And here we have all the robots who are helping us in the fight. Although there's a few times I used two sets of backups. I used the robots here, and I used the I think it's the hazmat officer or something. The hazmats sometimes will not attack the target that I'm attacking for reasons. Not sure why exactly. I would have to look through the bug report section to be able to figure that out. So again, we have to fight 1 billion Alexander Luthor. But we can do it. So let's collect our little reward. And at this point, if you don't talk... Okay, so you have to talk to Alexander Luthor. But if you don't talk to Luthor, you can take the portal to Earth 3.
Now that we're here, I suggest we split up. You two, follow me to the courthouse. It is the main source.
And if you do that, as you saw, you skip the whole bit with the JLA. The first time that happened, I was a bit surprised. Like, basically, I had clicked on Luthor to start the cutscene. And then when I came to Earth 3, like my partner had defeated like half the police officers, while basically he skipped the cutscene, and he was in Earth 3 while I was still in the cutscene, so he was able to defeat a few police officers while I was still in the cutscene.
Mind your own business.
We're gonna need an advance.
I'm not sure if once you start the cutscene, if you can actually skip it, then try that. But I know that if you don't talk to Luthor and you just go to the portal, you can go straight to Earth 3. And here you see a good example of I went one way, my partner went the other way, and we both defeated whatever enemies we had. So you don't have to stick together. If you prefer to stick together, you can. If you prefer to go your own way and deal with a bunch of enemies while your partner deals with another bunch of enemies, you can do that too. Although if your combat rating 207, it may be a bit more challenging, but I'm trying to remember when I was 207 if it was that hard, and I can't recall. Also, the first few times I played these missions, I was with other players who were not were low-level players. So I pretty much had to play the event version of that mission with them.
Good, he's gone.
But I guess I would have to try this version of the mission with a combat rating 207 character to be able to tell the difference.
This time is different. Your tyranny ends today.
I don't have time to play games with you. I have an entire police force to take out my trash for me. If you don't mind, I have a re-election gala to play.
So again, we have the evil Mayor Gordon, and we have the evil robot M-Evil. I wish they had called him M-Evil with like 3 L's or something, but what can you do? But the name really cracked me up. But the first time I saw it, I had a bit of fun. So you saw our friend went to grab the healing barrel. That's fine. I was running low on power a bit, so it was a bit welcome. I should probably go back into the area that was affected by the healing barrel, but too much of a slacker. And here you have a few big attacks that the evil robot is doing sometimes, like some sort of bombardment. Usually you have these big red target that appear at the feet of your character, and it tells you that get out. Like here you can see you saw the big red target, and then you see the big laser beam. So that means get out of the way because you're going to get fried. I could have stayed there and probably survived thanks to my shield, but there's no reason not to move if you can. So here we got some nice rewards. I wasn't able to show you the rewards in the previous version, so now you can see what the rewards look like. Gave a few bow and thumbs up to our friend. And let's take a quick look at what reward did we get. So usually, if you're a legendary player, you get these little reward boxes. We got an extra mark of victory. It's better than nothing. So a final bow, and there we go. And once you finish the mission, as you saw, it acts as almost like an operation. So even once you use the portal, you're still in the operation. So you have to go to the on duty menu, and you have to actually leave the mission. Like you see at the bottom right, the little triangle leave. So if you're still in the mission, press triangle, and you will leave the mission. Another option, just go to the map, warp to base, and you will be able to just exit the mission that way also. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So just a quick look at the visitor's mission. So basically the two options, the version where you watch the cutscenes, but also the version how you can actually skip at least some of the cutscenes. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.